so we're condensing it into a 2-hour overview.
Well, thank you for being here.
Natasha, thank you so much. I'm so sorry for.
No worries, no, it's just a Monday. No worries.
It's a Monday. Okay, so a little bit about the class. It is a one-day class that we're going to, like I said, shove into a 2-hour time together. And just a little bit about me. So my name's Rebecca Del Pozo, and this is our family. We actually were in Belize and then Costa Rica this last year. So what I'm doing is I'm traveling all around the world and teaching Keller Williams University courses as an approved trainer. And so I'm on my, what they call the master faculty path. And so the goal is to earn the title of master faculty, which for me means ambassador of Keller Williams. Keller Williams has truly changed my life, and we're gonna talk about how. And so I feel like this is the one thing that I can do to give back to the company that truly has given me everything. So I am wife to Mike, who is this big guy back here, and then mom to Antonio, Trisha, and then this is Bella, my youngest. And I'm born and raised in a little town called Abbotsford, BC in Canada. And so there are a few times where I will say something funny, and you have the right to make fun of me or giggle if you need to. My favorite of all comfort food is tater tots. So before we leave our time together, I would love to hear where you've seen the most amazing tater tots, because wherever I go, that's where, and obviously I've been enjoying too many tater tots lately. Love tater tots. So I've been with Keller Williams since 2003. I've literally grown up my entire real estate career at Keller Williams. And I'm a real estate investor. My husband and I have a team, Rebecca Del Pozo and Company. We're located just south of Seattle, Washington. Our average sales price where we are right now is about $390 in the county that we're in. However, we are luxury agents, and so we sell the greater Seattle area. And a bunch of different certifications over the years. I am extremely passionate about profit share with Keller Williams. Last year I earned $33,000 of passive income through profit share. So we're going to talk a little bit about why that is something that means a lot to me. It allowed for me to use that $33,000 as a down payment to purchase our third investment property. So I've written a couple books along the way because of profit share. I wanted to be able to get the word out to as many different people as I could. And one of the ways I found worked really well is to write a book, put it on Amazon, and people call you. And so we'll talk a little bit about that as we go. So here's the map. So here's Seattle, Washington, and then here are the properties that we sell. So where I live is actually kind of like right in here, which is like the Tacoma area, where a lot of more affordable housing is available for people. And so we specialize in luxury waterfront properties. In my area, you can purchase waterfront, $800,000 to $950,000 versus going into Seattle waterfront would obviously cost a lot more. So, do you have any friends or family that live in my area, in my territory?
Unfortunately, my father-in-law sold his waterfront in Kirkland
Okay.
years back
Nice.
before I was in the business.
Okay, awesome.
It
Have
would've
you
been a great
come to
referral.
visit us before?
Yes.
Has anyone been there before?
Yep.
Yes? No?
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you come, we've got a little boat. You're welcome to call me, and we'll give you a tour of the Puget Sound. So all of our water and all through here, my husband and I have a little fishing boat that we love to hang out on. So
What do you catch in there?
we don't catch anything yet. We've only had the boat for 2 years, and we have yet to actually fish off of it. So. All right. So let's see. Hi. My clicker just, oh, there we go. Okay, so is everyone with Keller Williams?
Yes.
Yes, awesome. So can everyone recite by heart what our MVVBP is? Our mission, vision, value, and belief, and perspective. Everyone's making that funny face. So here we are. We are here to build careers worth having, businesses worth owning, lives worth living, experiences worth giving, and legacies worth leaving. Our vision is to be the real estate company of choice for agents and their customers. Our values are God, family, then business. We believe real estate is a local service business driven by individual real estate agents and their local image, with their centers of influence and client base. We believe our associates should be treated like stakeholders. We're all partners at Keller Williams. You can put that on your business card if you don't have it, right? Because you are truly a partner. We believe stakeholder companies always measure profit and loss, open the books, and tell the truth. We believe who you are in business with really does matter. We believe profits matter, and we believe no transaction is worth our reputation. Our belief, our Y4C2Ts, our perspective is that we're a technology company that provides the real estate platform that our agents, buyers, and sellers prefer. Keller Williams thinks like a top producer, acts like a trainer consultant, and focuses its activities on service, productivity, and profitability. So what is it that differentiates those who achieve at the highest from those who don't seem to accomplish as much? What are some of your guesses? Why do we have agents who aren't millionaires when there's this red book called the Millionaire Real Estate Agent? What are the things that stop us from all being millionaires? Give me some.
They don't follow that.
They don't follow the model.
Yeah.
Yep.
Consistency, follow-up.
Consistency
Habits.
and follow-up. It's habits. Yep, absolutely. Mindset, exactly. So Gary Keller says you've got to begin with the end in mind. And so this is an actual picture I took at Mega Camp last August. Has anyone gone to Mega Camp? If you haven't, this is a great event this year. It's in Austin in August. They just released tickets, so you can start planning for that. This is Jean and Rebecca Rivers, and they run their business out of Florida. And they've got an incredibly inspirational story where hurricane literally took everything of theirs, wiped them out. They ended up living in their parents' garage while they had to rebuild their lives. And what I've been to many of Gene's classes where he shares you need to have multiple income streams working for you, right? And so the end in mind is that you have multiple income streams. So they have market centers, a title company, they have a 7th level team, profit share, consulting, speaking, and real estate investments. Now for you, you're all Keller Williams agents, so you actually have what I call the 4 buckets as well. The first one is your real estate sales, right? So when you sell houses or condos, you're making money. Agreed? So we all agree we have one income stream that we can utilize, and that's to sell houses. So that's our sales business. The second bucket of wealth that you have is based on the Millionaire Real Estate Investor. Does anyone in the room right now own cash flowing properties, investment property? Anyone in the room want to own cash flowing investment properties? Yes, okay, so we'll talk about that. So Gary Keller wrote the book, it's called the MREA, and then he went on and he investigated, because in that red book there was Christina. Christina, at the back of the book, if you want to read her story, had the smallest book of business. She had the least amount of people in her database, and yet she was netting $1 million in her business. So she was the inspiration behind the blue book that's called Millionaire Real Estate Investor. She had investors in her database that on a regular basis were purchasing 5 to 10 investment properties every year. And so if you don't have investors in your database, then that should be one of your takeaways from class today, right? Is where should I go to meet an investor? How can I become an investor? How can I become more purposeful about my real estate investments? Because this is another income stream. The next is referrals. So right now, each and every one of you are a part of the largest referral network in the entire world. And so one of the things we did last year is in our listing packet, we changed things up a little bit, and at the bottom, I can send it to you if you want. It just shows a bunch of different flags from around the world. And in every single one of our listing appointments, before we get up from the table, we always stop and say, we're a part of the world's largest referral network of real estate professionals. Where in the world do you have family? And jot down where they know people. Because anytime anyone brings up real estate, I would just love it if you think of me first and give me a call, because I'd be happy to be that connecting, that conduit. And so are you talking like you're running a worldwide real estate business. Or when people think of you, are they only thinking about you here in Maui? The answer is you want people thinking about you, so you speak those words into existence that you are a part of the world's largest referral network. And so this is another income stream where you're making money in addition to investments, and then we've got profit share. So have you ever worked anywhere where you were incentivized to bring friends and family into the company? Can you give me an example of what kind of bonus you got? Has anyone worked anywhere where that was true?
Not a job, but I was in Amway a long time ago.
Okay. So my background before real estate was I worked for Alaska and Horizon Air out of a couple different airports in Canada, and then transferred down as a supervisor at Alaska Airlines. When I worked at Alaska, if I truly was, good at getting the word out to all my friends and family, if they survived the 90 days on the job training, I got $200. And back then, $200 was a big deal because I was only making $15 an hour. And so I saw that as another income stream. That's how I could supplement what I was already doing. And to this day, I still have tons of friends that still work there and love their jobs there because I saw this opportunity. Now, the same thing happened when I joined Keller Williams in 2003. They said, you're a partner here. And I was completely unqualified to be considered a partner. I do not have a college education. I was 23 when I found out I was dyslexic. And that all kind of clicked. No wonder I didn't like school. No wonder I didn't like learning. No wonder I said I don't want to go to college someday, because I knew it wasn't something I was good at. When they said, you're a partner here at Keller Williams, you have an opportunity to build wealth, I put it on my business card, realtor/partner. And people would ask me, you're a partner? Because I'm sure they looked at me like I was 23 and you're a partner? I'm like, yes. I share in the profits of my office. I'm a part of training and encouraging and coaching my fellow agents. Have you ever thought about getting into real estate? And that's what happened over the years. So I have 52 people in my first level of my profit share tree. Last year, like I said, $33,000 came in from profit share, and I used that to invest in. Right now, we're kind of on the duplex. We're on a duplex run right now. And I don't come from money. My parents ran a coffee shop, and that was my first job, dishes and coffee refills. And so the whole point to this is you've got multiple income streams working for you right now. However, we get busy in the day-to-day grind of our work that we ignore those other divisions of our business. And so today we're going to talk about how to get more purposeful. What are the things that differentiate? It's mindset, attitudes, and approach to life. And so the 6 personal perspectives are going to be what we talk about. However, I would love to hear from you, for you to feel like that, we're going to be together for what? 2 hours max. For you to walk away from this time together and really feel like it was worth your while in being together. What would be one topic that we've got to cover so that you're like, I got my money's worth. Class is free. It's okay. So give me some stuff. You want to learn something? You have something that's like, I want to know more about.
I think it's tapping into that, there's other, tapping into that sphere that will help increase that investment client.
Okay. So you like the idea of that?
Because I could be wrong, but I believe that most of us are looking for that instant, you need to buy or sell.
Right.
And though we tag it with invest, the day-to-day is, are you selling your house? Do you need to buy a house? Do you know what house it is?
Right.
But that investment part of it, we're just in the grind of selling someone's house or finding a house for them.
That's great. So being more purposeful about how to talk to investors and how to drum up more of that kind of business. So we'll talk about that for sure. And that's actually, I'll talk about the workshop that we held, because the first time after going to family reunion, I learned about the MREI workshop, and it's a free download, 66 slides that all of you can access to host your own. Have you done that here? The Millionaire Real Estate Investor Workshop? Okay,
No.
so we're gonna talk about that. What else?
I think it would be great to talk about how to get those investors that we get one by one to start working our business for us through their recommendations.
So you want, if you have one investor, you wanna literally take investors to like the times 10. You wanna clone them.
Yeah,
Is that,
but I want their help.
and you want their help to show you how. Okay. Got it. What else?
I like what you were talking about. I have a lot of my database that is not local. And I
Okay.
would like to have, maybe a script, but maybe not even a script, but I just like to be able to communicate to them that, like, I could get a lot of business out of referrals if I know the right way to make that link.
That's good.
You know,
Yep.
the global, like what you had said,
Mhm.
we're part of the largest global referral network, and because I've kind of been avoiding those calls, kind of like, well, you know,
Yeah, just, so we'll talk through and role play a script of how it's just gonna feel natural. Okay, good. Hi. What do you wanna get out of class today?
I actually really like the first idea, the meeting the investors and talking to them and actually kind of
Okay.
getting into the sphere of, yeah, I
That's
really
great.
love that idea.
Okay, perfect, so we will definitely do that. What else?
I just came to listen,
You just came to listen? How long have you been with KW?
since 2011.
Okay.
I'm on
Okay.
ALC here,
On ALC. What committee do you oversee?
technology.
Technology, awesome, okay, which I think we'll dabble in a little bit, because the referral part, and then obviously tech is a huge part of this, when you're working with investors. Because I'm a potential client of yours right now. I've got my KW app, I opened it up, it works here. And I've got my 15-year-old screaming from the back as we're going up and down all these, how much would it be here, Mom? How much would it be here, Mom? Like, all my kids have the app, and they know what we're looking for right now. And this is our first time here. So
And I
all-
gave you my card.
You did, you were the first one. That's the thing, is we've got the app, we're opening it, and just as much as I'm using, Siri to navigate our way around this island we've never been to before, I've got my Keller Williams app right next to it, and I'm looking at real estate. How much would this view cost us? How much could I Airbnb this for? What would happen if I, so, good. What else?
I guess if we're gonna touch on the downline, excuse me, the, building your downline,
Yep.
we're gonna talk about that. That would be-
Yes, absolutely. That's something I get really excited about, and I'll start talking really fast when I get excited. So just give me a little, hey, slow down a little. We need to track with you, Rebecca. Okay. So the 6 personal perspectives, we're going to use these to do what we just said we want to learn today. How to be more purposeful about the investment side of our business, how to be more purposeful about getting and generating more out-of-state referrals, because if our databases are not just here locally, how can we do that on purpose? And then profit share, how to communicate with our people and our family trees. So step 1 is we commit to self-mastery. The attitude is, I'm gonna nail this. I'm gonna master this. And that's ultimately why I'm teaching right now. The best way to master a topic is to teach it. And the best way to teach is to attend a class at least twice as the student, and then you're ready to go and teach it for yourself. And have any of you taught Ignite or 36-12-3 or I love our training curriculum. They highlight everything in red. It's like training for dummies. It's like, say this at this point, play this video here. So I would encourage all of you, teach a class if you're wanting to learn. The next is commit to the 80-20 principle. I'm gonna focus on my big rocks. Move from E to P. E, who can tell me what E stands for?
Entrepreneur.
Entrepreneurial, correct. E stands for entrepreneurial. Now, if you're in real estate for any, even if you've only been in real estate a week, entrepreneurial is, I just do this because this is what everyone does. Well, how long are open houses here when you hold an open house?
I think
How
3
long?
hours.
3 hours or
3
all
hours?
day.
Okay, 3 hours or all day. Why is it 3 hours and not an hour? I don't know, that's just how we've done it. Do you feed people at open houses here?
Sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, there's, entrepreneurial is we just do what everyone else is doing. P stands for purposeful. How do you move from entrepreneurial, fly by the seat of your pants, kind of jazz hands, tap dance as a real estate agent through things, but never really feeling like you're on it. You're just kind of winging your way through things. Purposeful means I've got a checklist for how I hold an open house. I kind of do things in a manner that's a little disruptive. Like, if everyone's holding a 3-hour open house, I hold it for an hour. Well, why would you do that? Well, because what I found is most of the really motivated buyers show up within the first 45 minutes. And one of the little ramblers we've got on the market right now, we have tenants in it, and I don't want to inconvenience the tenants a whole lot, and yet I need to get people through it. So we've been holding 1-hour open houses. Everyone thinks we're crazy. I've had so many calls from other agents going, is it true? Is it a typo? You're just doing it for an hour? I'm like, yes, sir, it's just 1 hour. They don't know what to say. It's been awesome. So I'm like, hey, you should come to the next class we're doing on, because now I'm having agents call me thinking that we're doing something different, right? So purposeful means I'm breaking through my ceiling of achievement. Anyone in the room felt stuck? If you look at your multi-year trends for the last few years, are you kind of an agent that sells, like what would you say the average agent sells a year here?
Like 4.5, 5 million. I think it's that high.
I think that's
it's a
a
little.
little-
No, that's a little
higher.
high, yeah.
That's
The
not-
the average sells 0, really. I mean,
Okay,
20% of we have 1,700 realtors on Maui, right?
Okay.
20% of those actually make a sale.
okay,
So,
okay. And so then that
our
would-
volume's a lot different here on Maui compared to the mainland's volume, so.
Okay.
But,
And so, an agent that maybe on average sells, 5 to 10 homes a year, or, sales, 5 to 10 sales a year, and yet you just can't ever get past that point. Like, do you ever feel stuck in your business where you look at your numbers and like, how come I haven't doubled my business? That happened to me. I was Rookie of the Year, 27 sales in my first year, and then I hit this 30. I could not break through 30 units a year. And I was like, what is wrong with me? What would need to happen so that I could break through that ceiling? So I set the goal, and I'm like, I'm gonna sell 77 homes, 2016. I hired a coach, my maps coach. I hired an assistant, got a showing assistant. I was like, I'm done. I'm done just being average. I want to be purposeful about my business. And that year, sad to say, I did not sell 77. Do you know how many I did?
76.
67.
Oh, you see, that's the dyslexic.
Right? Exactly.
It's your attention and flip.
So the lesson learned though is this business is as big as you want it to be. And your business grows to the extent that you do. So are you willing to grow? Are you willing to be uncomfortable at times so that your business, you don't get stuck? There's so many agents that are out there and they're stuck. Now, being learning based is the foundation of your action plan. This means I'm willing to be taught and I always pursue learning. No one likes to be around that person who is always saying, I know. Well, if you know all that, then you should be up there when Gary's doing his interviews at family reunion. Otherwise, zip it and let's agree that we can all learn and mastermind and grow from sharing with each other. Remove your limiting beliefs. I unlimit my thinking and my success. Now for me, this was a big deal. So my mom's with us on this trip. She's gonna be 75 in October. I'll never forget, I was about 8 years old driving to Uncle Eric's house, and from the back seat I said, Mom, how much does Uncle Eric make a year? And she snapped her neck. She's like, we can't ask such questions, Rebecca. And I was like, pardon me? I'm just asking. Like, he seems to have a lot of money. I just want to know how much does he make a year? And she's like, we don't ask people that question. Okay. So then, fast forward, I get my real estate license. I'm sitting down with my first coaching conversation, and he says, "How much debt do you have?" I'm like, I'm losing it, because I'm like, you don't ask people that question. I have been trained and taught from 8 years old, you don't ask people money questions like that. So I looked at him, and I'm like, pardon me? And he goes, "How much debt do you have, Rebecca?" I'm like, "A lot." He goes, "Okay, great. Your homework is to go home. And I'm gonna meet you next week, same time, same place. And I want you to come back right down to the penny. I wanna know what your net worth is." I left so angry. I was like, who does he think he is? I went home and I was just like, this is ridiculous. But I'm like, this has to work. Real estate has to work for me. I've got nothing else. So I got through all my anger and eventually got home and I pulled out every folder I could. It was like over $53,000 of debt. I came back and like a brat, I slammed it on his desk. I'm like, here, see, I told you it was a lot. And it was right down to the penny. And he looked up and he goes, "Are you ready to be Rookie of the Year, Rebecca?" I'm like, what kind of mind games are you playing with me, Mike? Like, what are you doing to me right now? He goes, "No one ever does this homework." So the fact that you were able to come to a place of humility and actually get this number and come back and meet with me and not reschedule or cancel like everyone else, get ready. This is gonna change your life. And that was Mike Bastian, an incredible trainer, coach. He was my first team leader back in the day. Each one of us has limiting beliefs. Give me some examples, bless you. Give me some examples of other limiting beliefs. What, you know, I'll share one more. Unexpected divorce, end up being a single mom of 3. Limiting belief, single moms struggle. So, didn't think I'd be able to buy a house all by myself again. Just somehow just believed that I was now going to be kind of on this different. We all have limiting beliefs. What are some other limiting beliefs?
I think it's the like asking your uncle what's his income.
Mm-hmm.
So mine was knowing what my parents' income was. I felt like that was,
The max.
and I need maybe if I could go a little bit over, then but that was sort of my ceiling for years.
So you have a financial thermometer and it's set to what your parents make, and that if that's what your parents make, that if you could make that or just maybe a little
Then
bit
I'm okay.
above, then you're okay.
And the people who make more are those people that somehow came from money or
Mhm.
different kind of professionals.
That's a perfect example of a limiting belief. Would you all agree? The thermostat is set and you don't want to be those people making that money because somehow that's going to come with.
It's not that I didn't want it, but I didn't know how, unless I had that path and became a doctor or an
Mhm.
attorney,
Mhm.
that those are the people that make those
Okay.
digits. But otherwise, like, if I'm making this amount, that's pretty good.
Yeah. Okay, that's a perfect example. Thank you for sharing. What else?
Well, specifically to Keller Williams, for me, was that you can only be successful if you grow to a 7th level business.
You have to have a team to be successful.
I don't want to do that.
Right. That's a perfect
So-
example.
Yeah.
So within the company of opportunity, you're like, I don't necessarily want that path, right? And yet we're told life by design and live the way it is you want to live, and yet the Red Book is very clear that this is the people who, you know, make this are doing this.
Yeah,
That's
so-
a great example.
So Colette was saying, she went to a couple special Gary meetings,
Mhm.
and Gary's focus going forward is going to be on individual agents
Yes,
and luxury,
yes,
to let them know that you can succeed too,
absolutely.
without having to do a team. So I was very encouraged by that.
It's in the Red Book, in the Millionaire Real Estate Agent, there's actually fine print down below where you, and I saw it one day and I was just like, oh my goodness, it says you don't have to go to the 7th level. There are many agents that succeed at level 4 and 5 at netting $1 million, and that's the point. And yet
Right.
somehow we believe that it's gotta be the 7th. It's a perfect example. What else? Limiting belief.
A lot of new agents have a limiting belief that they can't make it because there's so many agents.
Yes.
Right?
Yep, so scarcity versus abundance. There's so many agents, I'm not gonna, yep, that's a great example.
I actually, as a sort of new agent, I totally can relate to what Keone is saying. But my biggest thing, and I think I'm still going a little bit through it, as a new agent, that not having enough knowledge to provide to the client to be actually able to help him
That's
fully.
good. Yeah, absolutely. So I know that I don't know everything, and so how am I gonna help people? Because I don't know a whole lot. And yet the reality is you just going through and getting your passing an exam and going through the study is way more than just average Joe knows about real estate. And you're a part of, you know, the #1 company in the world. You've got access to people who could help you if you ended up having a client ask you a question you didn't know the answer to, right? But that limiting belief is holding people back.
Hold big time.
Yeah.
Big time.
I was gonna ask, so on Maui, about 1% of the population is a realtor.
Okay.
Do you have any idea what it is where you live? Because we get that question a lot. There's so many realtors here, but I don't really know what it is in other areas. So that may be just kind of the norm.
So I live on an island, like an actual, it's called Day Island, and there are 8 realtors that live on my island. And one of the rules that I kind of made was, when I moved onto this island, I knew there were a bunch of agents that live there. So I said, I'll give them 2 years. I'll watch what kind of marketing, what kind of emails, what kind of door knocking, what kind of strategies are other agents using. And then I'll respect whoever is like truly dominating this island. I got 1 postcard, you guys, in 2 years. So this last January, I'm like, it's on. My husband and I wrote a letter, a heartfelt letter, put a little picture. This is who we are. This is where we live. We love living here. Here are the reasons why. And we want to be your consultants. Anything to do with real estate, anywhere in the world, would you please just call us for a free consultation? Within 24 hours of that letter going out, we had 2 calls that week that came in. I know there's a bunch of other agents that live around. Now, that's my little island that I live on. What are the statistics elsewhere? The question is, everywhere feels that way. Everywhere. Because in our county right now, based on, when you look at the actual statistics, and they predict that we're gonna see a mass exodus. People are not going to be able to withstand. And so, and I think all of us feel and sense the same thing, regardless of where we are, location-wise. 6 is be accountable. It's mine and I own it. And this is easier said than done, right? Being accountable at a high level. That year when I doubled my business, I had 2 coaches holding me accountable. One locally that I had to go look at eyeball to eyeball, and then my MAPS coach that I had to call every single week. And I mean, in the beginning, it was baby steps, because we determined that we needed one to get me on a 411. How many people use a 411 accountability tool on a regular basis? I hadn't been. So I told her, I made the mistake and told her, please don't let me off the hook. I've got to use this tool. Gary Keller says this is it. This is the tool that millionaires use. I want to use it consistently. Don't let me off the hook, because I will. I will talk my way out.